Marcus had always been the kind of person who read the fine print, not out of suspicion, out of habit, out of the particular discipline that comes from growing up in a house where money was discussed in terms of what it couldn't do, and where the adults around you made promises with great warmth and very little follow-through. He had learned early that the gap between intention and documentation was where most damage lived. So when he decided to give his brother a house, he did it carefully. The property was in Delwood Terrace, a neighborhood Elliot had mentioned so many times over the years that it had become a kind of shorthand in the family, a reference point for aspiration, for the life that was always slightly ahead of wherever Elliot currently stood. Marcus had driven through it once as a teenager, in the back of their father's car, and remembered Elliot pressing his face to the window like the houses themselves owed him something. That image had stayed with him in the way certain things stay. Not sentimental, just catalogued. The transfer was structured as a conditional gift. Occupancy required within 90 days of the closing date. Standard language. His attorney had suggested it as a matter of course, part of a broader estate planning framework Marcus had been building since his late 20s. He hadn't thought much about the clause at the time. It was just language. It was just good practice. He signed the deed over to Elliot in February, 3 months before the wedding. He found out about the invitation the way most uncomfortable truths arrive. Sideways. From someone who assumed he already knew. His mother mentioned it during a phone call about something else entirely, and the mention was brief, cushioned inside other sentences, delivered in the tone she used when she was hoping a thing would pass without requiring a response. The wedding was going to be intimate, she said. Elliot had always imagined something small. Close family, close friends. Marcus would understand. He didn't ask what close family meant. He already knew. He stood in his kitchen after the call and spent a few minutes looking out the window at nothing in particular. He wasn't performing calm. He was genuinely trying to locate what he felt, turning it over slowly, examining it from different angles. What he found wasn't rage. It was something more structural, the recognition of a pattern he should have identified much earlier, now made impossible to ignore. He called his attorney the following morning. The clause, as it turned out, was straightforward. Elliot had signed the transfer agreement without retaining independent counsel to review it. Marcus had not hidden the language. It was on page 4, clearly labeled, written in plain terms. The 90-day occupancy window had been mentioned twice in the original conversation between their attorneys. Or rather, between Marcus's attorney and Elliot, who had chosen to represent himself in the interest of saving money. The window closed on a Tuesday in May. Elliot had not moved in. The house had sat empty, staged with furniture from the previous occupants, the key code shared but never used. Elliot had plans he'd set at various points. After the honeymoon. After they'd had time to settle. After. Marcus listed the property on a Wednesday. He accepted an offer by Friday. Cash, no contingencies, slightly under asking. The buyers were a couple from out of state, relocating for work, eager to close quickly. His attorney managed the paperwork. Marcus signed what needed to be signed, and went back to his week. He did not tell anyone. He watched the wedding through the family group chat the way you watch something through a window, present to the image, absent from everything inside it. The messages came in clusters. Photos of the ceremony, the florals, the cake. His mother wrote, "So beautiful," 3 times. An aunt he hadn't spoken to in years sent a string of emojis. Someone had captured Elliot at the altar, mid-vow, eyes wet. Expression open in a way Marcus had rarely seen on his brother's face. He looked at the photo for a moment, then set his phone down. He was not, he decided, a person who could sustain bitterness about another person's happiness. What he felt was something quieter and more durable. The settled knowledge of exactly how much he had been worth to the people in that room, now that the numbers were finally clear. Elliot and his wife returned from the honeymoon on a Sunday. They had a moving truck booked for Monday morning. Elliot had texted the week before with logistics questions, parking, elevator access, whether Marcus thought the master bedroom could fit a king, and Marcus had responded to each message with brief, accurate answers. What they found, when they arrived at the house on Sunday evening to drop off a few early boxes, was a lit window. A car in the driveway that did not belong to either of them. A door that did not respond to the key code. Elliot's wife knocked. A woman answered. Mid-40s. Pleasant, holding a paint swatch. She was confused. They were confused. The conversation lasted less than 2 minutes before everyone involved understood that something had gone significantly wrong, though not everyone yet understood in which direction. Elliot called Marcus that night. Marcus answered. He explained the clause. He explained the 90-day window. He explained that the transfer had reverted under the terms Elliot had agreed to, and that the property had since been sold to a third party, and that the sale was complete and recorded and entirely legal. He used the same tone he used in work calls. Clear, unhurried, devoid of editorial. Elliot said several things. Some of them were questions. Some were not. Marcus answered the questions. When Elliot said, voice shifting into something rawer, "You did this because of the wedding." Marcus paused for one beat, then said, "I did this because of the clause." He did not say anything else about it. The family spent the following weeks discussing the situation in the careful, circular way families discuss things they cannot name directly. The word wedding did not appear in any of these conversations. The word gift appeared often, usually modified by words like conditional and technicality and misunderstanding. His mother called twice. She suggested gently that Marcus might have found a way to handle things differently. He agreed that he might have. He did not apologize. She did not ask him to. He missed 2 family dinners that fall. No one pushed. The money from the sale sat in an account Marcus had set aside specifically for it. He hadn't decided what to do with it. He thought sometimes about a property his firm had flagged in an adjacent neighborhood. Smaller, better bones. No history attached to it. He thought about it the way he thought about most things. Carefully. Without hurry. Reading everything before he signed.